Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us here for another edition of Tailgate Talk Nebraska. We have Brian out there in Colorado running the show with the computer and getting us all tuned in. We got Brian in-house, Brian Cook. You looking forward to tonight?
I can't wait.
I mean, this is Super Bowl weekend. I mean, what more atmosphere do you need? If you need something to get you excited for this weekend, you don't watch us tonight. Yeah. Just go into the bathroom, take pants down, and read a book. Okay, get started tonight, though. We're going to start with the Super Bowl. We're going to break it down. We have the Seahawks and the Patriots. And at the beginning of the year, did you pick any of them?
No, I did not.
No, they weren't on our radar. But you take the Final Four. I mean, it was a weird season. You had bad teams like Denver and the Rams making their showings and trying to get into the Super Bowl. And here we are with the Patriots, who we thought were dead after, Belichick and Brady left. And the Seahawks, they never are on our radar. They're a mediocre team. You look up mediocre in the dictionary, boom, there's the Seahawks, and now here they are trying to get themselves another Super Bowl win. What do you think?
I disagree with you that most of these teams were bad teams. It was a weird year. It was an extremely weird year, college and pro, just a strange year all the way around. But what I will say is I love it. I love the parody of this. Everybody gets tired of seeing the same teams up there every year, even though that it shows consistency and greatness to be up there every single year. However, it's just nice to see different teams up there. Would I have ever pictured New England up here? Absolutely not. I would have probably put them maybe a playoff team, maybe, absolutely maybe, but I wouldn't have saw them going through the playoffs and going to the Super Bowl. I will say I called it for Denver that they would win. They would win the West, but they would lose in the AFC Championship game. But I picked the wrong team. So, but the Seahawks, same thing. The Seahawks are one of them teams that they're always middle of the pack, kind of on the cusp, about ready to get above that hump. But I thought they were still in rebuild mode. I really did. So, it's been a fun year. It's really been a fun year. It's been fun to see all these new teams come up and make a run in the playoffs.
I mean, we've had teams like you say, Perry, teams that you didn't think were going to be competing, that were competing not just for their divisions, but once they got in, they were legitimate. Your favorite, the Texans. Yeah. Outside of Texas, no one thought they were good. No one thought they'd make the playoffs. And here, tell us that it was a huge year for them.
Well, the defense was on. I still believe that Miko Ryan's one of the best coaches out there. The only flaw with DeMeco is he cannot pick a right offensive coordinator. His big downfall. When he gets that down in the pat and picks the right offensive coordinator, look out, NFL.
What I will say is a prime example of the parity this year is who would have thought Carolina would come in. Yeah. And not only did they snuck in the back door, but they put a game up against the Rams. It wasn't a blowout by any means.
They got better as the year went on, and
yes.
And as that happened, you as a fan, you're just like, wow, now we got to watch out for them because they did. They got better as the year went on, and you're right. Watch out next year if they let that momentum continue. There could be trouble down there in the South.
Chicago is another prime example. Who would have thought Chicago would be playing for that number one seed with 3 weeks left in the year? I wouldn't have saw it. It's been very fun. I think the Texans, honestly, if I was to pick objectively, if they had a different quarterback they would be in the Super Bowl right now. I legitimately think that Texans defense is probably one of the better defenses I've seen in a long time. And the fact that they kept that game
with a Ravens-style defense. It's led by the linebackers, and everything plays off of them. Yeah. And when you have a linebacker-based defense, they're usually really, really strong and control the game.
One thing I will
say, Denver's that way. Denver's a linebacker-led defense. And, if the linebackers run the show, She's running most of the field.
But honestly, top to bottom, the Texans are just great on defense all the way around. But them and Denver are right there, hand in hand. But I would give the secondary play to Denver. The secondary is a little bit better in Denver. Patrick Surtain is a beast. That guy is one of the best corners in football, and he's going to continue to be that way. But I think the Texans, honestly, if they could have got some offense going, I don't see anybody in the AFC beating them. I really don't, because they were the fact that they turned the ball over 5 times against New England and still made that a game and almost came back and won that game is impressive.
That had me worried. I had me worried with the Patriots went into Denver. I was like, man, at 5 turnovers, they still didn't put that game away. What's gonna happen now?
Yeah, and honestly, we all know it doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you're on the field 70% of the time, you're going to get wore out.
Absolutely. I mean, we have history of that.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, when they won the Super Bowl, when they got Tom Brady, the year before that defense was great. The problem was they had Mr. Interception out there, and he threw 30 interceptions. So that defense wasn't even ranked in the top half. And then they turn around and get Brady, who plays clean, and all of a sudden that's a top 5D.
But one thing I'll say about the Texans, just to pat their back a little bit, they didn't get tired. Even with all the interceptions, all the turnovers, they still hung in there and gave their offense a chance to get the ball back. It's just like I said, it's just been a great year. It's been a great year for football. It's been a wild postseason. And I think this Super Bowl is going to be a wild one too. I think it's going to be a close one, but
very defensive.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. It really is going to come back into quarterback play.
Which quarterback makes the less mistakes is going to win it. The quarterback that makes the most mistakes, see you later.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing I will give it to him. Drake May does a little bit less of that. I was not aware until I looked it up today. Sam Darnold has 14 interceptions on the year. So, but I think that offense for Seattle is a little bit more rounded than New England is. So he may be able to get away with it a little bit more. But I still think Seattle is going to come out on top of this game.
I disagree. I think the Patriots have a much stronger run game, and that'll allow them to control the clock a little bit more, especially coming down the stretch. They'll keep their defense a little more healthy or fresh. Where we come down the stretch, I think Seattle's going to be up against it. They're going to get winded, and Drake May's going to make some late plays to win the game.
I disagree. I love it. I've done my statistical analysis, position by position, game by game, to see what each team does. I have my final stats: Seattle beating New England by 4 points.
And they're not going to cover the spread.
What is the spread?
4.5.
4.5.
4.5. They will not cover the spread. It'll be 4 points.
Yeah.
It'll be close.
I just think I said it last week, and I've said it for the last several weeks. I just think Seattle's just the most well-rounded team. They don't have a great defense, but they have a good defense. But as far as their whole round team, I think they're the best well-rounded team in football, and that's why they've been dominant the last several weeks. And the only one that's ever been able to keep with them is the Rams. Honestly, the Rams are the only ones that have been able to test them. So. I just think that Seattle's going to
LeBron James Sports Network. The Rams are supposed to be there, but they have the greatest coach in the world. They have the greatest play. Their talent is great. What happened to the Rams? I want the so-called experts from ESPN text me. What went wrong to your dream team out in LA? It's coaching. NFL coach Sean. There's two Seans that have been there. And here we go. Sean McVay, Sean Payton. Where are they at? ESPN? They're supposed to be the greatest teams alive. They're not there.
When for the whole season they were talking about the Rams being like in the power rankings 1 and 2, like in that, I never bought it. the whole year. I just never really bought it because I I don't know. I think they're they do have a young team that's led by an old quarterback. And it's
And it's a quarterback that never had his moment. Darnold's
yeah,
never had a star. He was never the man. He was never running for the MVPs. He was never a stat leader. He was the second string guy that got some opportunities to start every now and then. Drake May, on the other hand, is a young guy that's going to be a star in this
He
league
will be.
and could possibly be one of the greats when he's done. He's got a
and
big
that
arm, quick release. He can use his feet. He's smart. He sees defenses.
I think that comes down to his coaching is going to keep him. Like if he wouldn't have got Vrabel as his coach, I don't see Drake May having the year that he did this year. I just don't. He's
But the
like he
thing is, he did get Vaporable, and he's a great coach.
yes,
And it's gonna get better as it goes.
yeah,
Those two are they're gonna make history together, and they're gonna be the Patriots version 2.
yeah. I don't know about that. That's going to be really hard to beat or hard to contest with, but I think they're going to be consistently good. I
Yeah,
I think they're going to be consistent, middle of the pack, right at the. They're going to be consistent, but if you look at it, Vrabel had a really good run with Tennessee for a long time, and then he lost the front office, and then it kind of fell apart on him.
well, I'm
The
standing
one,
alone here with the Patriots as I'm looking at some of the replies. Oh, Zach out there in Colorado thinks Seattle's just going to kill him 38-17. Dennis Lyons from our work, he's saying Seattle's going to take it too. So I'm standing out on a pedestal. I'm happy with it though. I'm good with my Patriots. They've done things all year long, and everyone kept saying, well, first, they weren't going to win their division. Second, they were going to get knocked out in the first round. Third, they weren't going to, no way they were going to get by Denver. Even though Stedman came in, people were like, well, they're not that good. They're not going to get past Stedman. I'm like, and here we are. We're going to see. We're
you
going
know,
to
I think a lot of people would have bought it more if they had a tougher schedule. They just didn't have a very tough schedule, and that I think that helped them,
It might have
to
helped them. It helped them grow.
yeah,
But every time they did get a tough team, they won. They won when they had to.
yeah.
Um, just
But
saying, you can
they
only do the schedule that's put in front of you.
I
It does not
and
define how good you are.
we'll
It,
see if they can
it
sustain the
can be a
success.
it can be a litmus test, but that doesn't define how you end up.
Right. But they
I mean,
but
you
they
can play in
also
the
had
Big 12 and still win a national championship.
yeah, but let's look at their division. They also have a really weak division, and it was that way when it was Brady and Belichick too. It was a weak
Absolutely, I was
division.
about to point that out.
So
That division hasn't changed much.
no, but what I'm saying is like I'll be curious to see what they do next year now that they're going to have a first place schedule if they can sustain week in and week out against good teams. We say it in college as well. It's just do I think they will? Yeah, as long as Vrabel's there, I think they're going to be good. But I don't know if they're going to have the success that they've had in the past. I just don't see that. So,
I think they'll be all right. They got some cap space. He's going to build on what he's already got. He's got a lot of young players like Drake that are going to do nothing but mature and get better in their roles. And he's already playing in the Super Bowl. I mean, that says a lot for him.
yeah, absolutely. I think by far, if he doesn't win Coach of the Year, there's something wrong.
One
I'm
of the
sorry,
two
but there,
coaches. It's
yeah,
either the Seattle coach, McDonald, or Vrabel. They deserve it.
I got a question. They used to announce that before the game,
Yeah.
but they're waiting until after it now, right?
no, I think the honors is on Thursday or tomorrow, ain't it? I think the honors,
Tomorrow?
uh, I think it's tomorrow or Friday is when
Okay.
the awards is. But yeah, in
Did
his
you even watch the flag football? Did y'all watch that? Oh, great.
Every Sunday.
No, last night, man. Great stuff.
I'm sorry, but what they need to do with the Pro Bowl is just make it a list that's put together, but don't play the game. Just
They did
don't
play
play
the
the
game. They
game.
were playing flag football. There was 6-man teams.
I
It
know,
was
but they
great stuff.
I get it, and I understand that flag football is growing. It's for God's sakes, it's going to be an Olympic sport
It's
here
going to be
coming
an
up.
Olympic sport.
But none of them players really they have fun doing it. But do you think they would care if it was just a list that was put out like an all American list? I don't see why it makes a difference because
No, back in the day, they used to play that game, and it meant something because it you had great players showing up to play,
right.
and even though it was a mock game, the players of the past didn't like losing. It didn't matter if it was for fun or it was just for joking around.
The only
You know?
sport right now, Jeff, the only sport that the All-Star game means anything,
Baseball.
Baseball.
They made it effective that way. And
Yeah.
maybe NFL needs to look that way too.
And honestly, how would they do that though? Like, let's say they did that. They would have to wait to announce the home team the week of the Super Bowl. I just don't.
No, they would have. We have that break now because we have the 18 teams, our 18 game week. We have that break. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, they just
move.
have that heavy. They have that heavy week that has a bunch of teams off.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's put it this way. Instead of a coin toss, the winner of the Pro Bowl gets the win, the coin toss, whether to receive or defer.
Yeah, something. Just something. If you're not gonna make it worth something, then why play the game? It really doesn't matter. Like I think the guys would be just as content if it was just a list put out. It's I just don't understand why we keep pushing the Pro Bowl. I'm done with it. It's a joke at this point.
Kind of like the halftime show.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about the halftime show. Let's not even go there. I mean, this will be the third year in a row where we have two shows. We have one in the stadium and one 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
They've done that 3 years in a row now, and we're going to do it again. And I don't know. I don't watch the halftime shows anyway. I'm refilling my beer and drinks and getting ready for the second half. And that has nothing to do with sitting there watching her tit pop out. I mean, I missed that. I listened to my whole living room go, oh, that was her move. And I came out, what?
That's like you
Jeff got no move. No, Jeff just got football.
And that was back before DVR, so you couldn't even rewind.
That's right. There was no rewind back then. It was horrible. And they had rules, so they didn't re-show it. I mean,
Yeah.
nope, I missed the move.
You remember who showed her move?
What?
You remember who it was?
Chet Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah, it was what do you call it? It missed. They were supposed to tear off the front, but it wasn't supposed to tear off the boom. But so it was an outfit malfunction.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Oh my! All right, so we got everybody going Seattle except for me. Haven't seen any support for me on that yet, but that's okay.
Well, and from my poll that I posted earlier in the week, I think only 2 or 3 people picked the Patriots. Well, I think we had 10 or 11 votes altogether, and everybody picked the Seahawks except for 2, I think. So
now one of them was probably me.
yes, it was. But it'll be a good game. I just don't see this turning into a blowout. I really don't.
I hope not. I hope Zach's wrong. 38-17 would be that would disappoint me. I'm hoping for this to be a really close game because if the Patriots are going to win it has to be a close game because they're not going to run away with it.
I honestly see this being a touchdown game. I think that Seattle will cover, but they'll win by a touchdown. So I think it'll still be a 1-score game. If I was to guess, I'm probably picking like I don't think any team's going to score over 24 points. I think it's going to be like a.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think it's
thinking
going to be like.
21-17 Patriots.
We want
I'm
defense,
thinking.
we want running games in this Super Bowl. That's what I'm looking forward to. Traditional. I'm
Yeah.
an old school guy. Run game on the offense, defense as well.
Yeah.
And I think these two teams set up for that.
Yes.
Because they're both run first. You know, they do pass the ball around, but they're run first. And defense is
Yeah.
what got them where they're at.
I'm picking a 24-17 game. I think Seattle will win 24-17.
21-17
Yeah,
Patriots.
I think that's where we're going to end up, is probably in that range. So,
Right, 28-24.
just writing it down.
Marked in. Get y'all marked in. Zach, what you got? Oh yeah, he did 38-17.
Yeah, I just don't see that.
What
I just don't
Derek, any idea what Derek would have picked?
I'm not sure. I think
I'm
I
not
want to say
sure. You know, he kept hanging on the Patriots with me every time I went with them, but I don't know in this one because
Yeah.
he also was hanging on Seattle all year, but he was on Seattle early in the year.
yeah. See, me and him are kind of
picking them halfway through the season.
him and I were kind of on the same boat with Seattle. That Seattle was going to be really kind of hard to beat. But knowing Derek, he probably went with the Patriots.
Changed at the last minute.
Yeah.
All right. Did any closing statements on the Super Bowl? Because the halftime show's off limits.
The so-called experts of the LeBron James Network has the Rams defeating the Broncos by a score of 42-40.
Yeah.
I'm speaking for him, by the way. All these so-called experts pick Rams.
You know the Rams are a good team.
They're a great team, but their coaching devastated them. They have every right to be there. It's their coaching decisions that got them where they're at.
All right, now, who's going to be the MVP?
All right.
Of this Super Bowl? Let's start with there, and then we'll transition into the question of the night.
Ooh, boy. Brian, you pick. Let me think about this.
I'm going to go on a limb, and I honestly think it's going to be Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp.
I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a big game because they're going to try to take away Jackson Smith and Jigba. You know, I think when it comes down to, and I don't think he's going to have a huge stat line, but I think that he's going to have the catches that matter in the moment. You know, going back to the Rams Super Bowl where he won, he won MVP of that Super Bowl. You know, everybody knew where the ball was going, but they couldn't stop him. You know, I honestly think this is going to be Cooper Kupp's. It might be his farewell tour, honestly, because he's not getting a whole lot of targets with Seattle, but I think he could have a big game. So I'm going Cooper Kupp.
I'm going to go Kenneth Walker because I want this to be a running game, defense too. But Kenneth Walker, if I'm going to pick Seattle to win it, Kenneth Walker, the running back. So he's got to pick some Patriot to win it.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with their cornerback, Jalen Hawkins. He leads the team in interceptions, and I think he'll get one or two big ones that decide the game.
Not Hernandez?
Not Hernandez.
I could see if the Patriots win, Christian Gonzalez is going to have a big game. I have a feeling because he's going to be the one that's on Jackson Smith and Jigba. So,
Yeah.
Who'd you pick? Oh, Kupp.
I picked Kupp.
And I didn't write yours down.
He picked Walker.
Kenneth Walker, the third. Like Thurston Howell, the third.
All right. Now, to MVPs that should not have been.
This is going to
The
be fun.
MVP.
Don't change the dial, folks.
You know, we have 50 plus years of MVPs, and everyone thinks that they deserve them, or they think that they did deserve them. let's start at our. Where do you want to start?
Number 5.
Let's start at number 5. Work our way up. Brian, I'm gonna let you start out there in Colorado.
My number 5 is Deion Branch in Super Bowl 39.
Really?
Deion Branch had 11 receptions, 133 yards, but no scores. However, the guy that should have won it was Rodney Harrison. He had 7 tackles and 2 interceptions in that game. I think that it should have been a defensive guy win the Super Bowl MVP that year. So Rodney Harrison is my pick for that year. That who should have won it.
My number 5 came from Super Bowl 54, 2020. The winner of the wrong MVP that year was Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he wasn't good. He was good, but there's one player that was better than Patrick Mahomes. He's still there at Kansas City. A defensive tackle named Chris Jones should have won the MVP because he made more of a difference of the Chiefs winning that Super Bowl than Patrick Mahomes.
I will give you that. I hung on that Super Bowl for quite a while. I was like, Mahomes really didn't. He did play a good game. I just don't think he really should have won the MVP. So
I didn't think we'd ever agree on him. That's my number 5 also.
Right.
It is.
Very good.
I love that Super Bowl. It was fun to watch, but the defense definitely ruled that day. I agree with you full. That's my number 5 also. So let's just move on to number 4 for you. Let you drop it on. We'll rotate.
Well, I think number 4 should wait till after Brian because this is going to be a little controversy now.
All right.
Okay. So mine's probably going to be controversial too. I have Drew Brees in 44. I have Drew Brees in 44. And in my opinion, the turning point of that game was Tracy Porter's interception for a touchdown. So to me, I think Tracy Porter should have won that Super Bowl MVP. I actually got 2 defensive guys right off the bat.
Very good.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that to be on the radar.
You know, Drew Brees
I watched
was great.
that Super Bowl, and Drew Brees was amazing that day.
He was.
He lived in the pocket. He was throwing bombs. But 32, 39.
But if you look
280 yards.
If you look at it though, that game was all close until Tracy Porter had that interception for a touchdown. That was the biggest point of that game. So that game turned right there. That's where it turned, and that's why I like it when it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have the best stat line.
Yeah.
But what play made the difference? And to me, I remember that Super Bowl. I remember watching it. I still think Tracy Porter's interception made that Super Bowl. Everybody shows it still even. Nobody shows Drew Brees throwing touchdown passes. They show Tracy Porter with the interception.
That's a good take, Brian. That's a good take. That's a good number 4.
I'm surprised by that.
Very controversial.
Yeah.
I think mine's a little controversial too, but I'm going to go to that first Patriots Tom Brady Super Bowl when he won. He went 16-27. He only had an 86 quarterback rating. He only threw for like 185 yards. They gave him the MVP because he came off the bench in place of Drew Bledsoe. When Ty Law was the reason that New England won that game. I mean, he had 3 interceptions, one of them for a touchdown, a pick.
I'm happy with you guys.
I mean,
defense.
Ty Law was the ruler of the field. That was his law. That was his game. That's my number 4. Going defense again, and I'm gonna stick with that theme most of the night.
For years, folks. How many special teams players have won an MVP in the Super Bowl?
None.
It should have happened once. Back in Super Bowl 46, that was 2012, okay? That Super Bowl was dictated by field position. And a punter should have won that MVP. Eli Manning won the Super Bowl MVP. It should have been Steve Weatherford, the punter for the New York Giants, because he determined the field position to give Eli that comfort zone. They've been the only special teams player to ever win it.
That's
Steve
bullshit,
Weatherford punter should be Eli Manning as MVP.
Bullshit bell.
Do you know how hard I looked to take one away from Eli Manning, and you just did it? Like I did.
That's horseshit. Stop it! I don't even know what to say to you.
Look back at the Super Bowl, Jeff. Field position determined that, and the punter made Eli Manning better than he actually was in that game because of field position. The punter, Steve Weatherford should have been the MVP.
That was one of the greatest postseason runs of all time that Eli put up there. Maybe not just that game, but the run. It still holds today as the most yards thrown by a quarterback, the highest quarterback rating of a quarterback through the playoffs.
Yeah, and what?
That was definitely Eli's MVP.
Oh, Jeff, just a little trivia: who has the most the most passing yards with a loss?
With a loss? That'd be Kurt Warner.
No.
It's gotta be.
Tom Brady, when the Philadelphia Eagles beat him the first time, he threw for 505 yards and lost.
Wow.
Ooh.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Huh. Would not have guessed that.
Yep. So, all right, we're on to 3 now?
On to you.
3.
Oh, yeah, 3.
Mine's less controversial this time.
Number 3, probably another controversial one, but I'm taking one away from Peyton Manning.
Me too.
In Super Bowl 41, I picked Dominique Rhodes, who wasn't even their starting running back. And he had so Peyton Manning threw for 247 yards and 1 touchdown.
And Dominique Rhodes had 21 carries for 113 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely! Yep. Absolutely! That run game won that Super Bowl for them. Not Peyton Manning.
Is that your number 3 too?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm pointing out to you. They're talking on that. And the number 1 running back went 19 for 77 yards and 10 receptions for 60 yards. I mean, the run game was what won that. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I remember Joseph Adai was their number 1 guy.
Yeah.
You know, and Dominique Rhodes had a monster game. Just a monster game.
Just running people over up in the middle. That was a dominating game that day. And it was not Peyton Manning being dominating.
No.
I agree with you. That's my number 3. Written there.
So we have the same.
My number 3 is going to go back before our time. There's only been one player named an MVP that was on the losing team. Back in 1971, Super Bowl 5, Chuck Halley won it for the Dallas Cowboys. But Baltimore won the Super Bowl, and I thought Johnny Unitas, the quarterback, the Baltimore Colts, should have won the MVP there.
But Halley had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery.
All
from him.
He had a good game, but Johnny Unitas pulled the Baltimore.
Johnny Unitas threw both those interceptions and the fumble.
But I'm sorry. Back in a thriller.
I'm sorry, but never, ever should the losing team have the MVP. Ever. I don't care. You didn't win the game. I'm sorry. You didn't win the game.
Halley had a good game. I'm not disputing that, but Johnny Unitas, the leader of the Baltimore Colts, should have won MVP because of his leadership.
And he was league MVP that year, too.
Yeah. Johnny Unitas was the real deal.
All right, we're getting to. I think we're going to get into some controversial ones.
This is where it's going to get very fun right now.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Who's doing number 2 first? Me or?
I should wait on mine because it's. You think number 4 was bad?
I'll do mine.
Wait to hear number 2.
I'll go. Super Bowl 33, January 31st, 1999, Denver versus Atlanta. Elway got the MVP that day, throwing 18 of 29 for 336 yards, a touchdown, and one interception, had a 99.2 rating. Where Terrell Davis, on the other hand, which was the man that controlled the game and kept John Elway out of trouble, had 102 yards, 2 receptions for 50 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That was the man that should have got the MVP, not Mr. Horsehouse.
I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? How can you disagree? Elway had a 99-point rating. I mean, he wasn't even a heavy quarterback rating.
Hold on. I have the same Super Bowl, Jeff. Different player.
You take Rod Smith?
Absolutely.
You take Rod Smith?
Absolutely.
152 yards and a touchdown? Yeah, absolutely, okay.
It was half of Elway's passing yards went to Rod Smith.
Yeah.
You know,
on 5 catches.
Yeah, on 5 catches.
Yeah. The man caught the ball and it was gone.
We all know, and even me as a Denver fan, know the only reason that Elway won that Super Bowl is because they knew it was his last, or his MVP is because it was his last game. That's the only reason.
They should have never given him an MVP. He never won. He never won. He was never the reason that they won their Super Bowls. Terrell Davis got the MVP the year before because he was a god that year.
But
John Elway is kind of like Trent Dilfer, one of the worst quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl.
No, not
absolutely.
What about Flacco?
Flacco and Elway got a lot in common. A lot in common. No. Big arms.
No.
Slow release.
But what did Elway do in that game, though?
He made the dive.
He made the dive. The helicopter play happened on that Super Bowl.
That didn't matter for him because that was only on 2nd down. The next down, they would have handed it to Terrell, and he would have pushed it in anyway.
I think that was all that. I think it was on 3rd down.
It was 2nd down.
Either way,
there's still a play left.
He put his body on the line for the game at that point.
He put his body on the line because he's okay. No better.
We've had 2 in a row where the same Super Bowl.
Yeah, I get it, but we picked different people. You know, I went with the running back.
I did,
but I understand your pick. Rod Smith was amazing that day.
He had 5 catches
for 150 yards. Yeah,
you know that's. I don't see anybody else that should have won this MVP that game. I just don't.
And let's just go one step further in that game, right? Go over to the defensive side. You had Darian Gordon, right? He had 2 interceptions, 4 tackles for losses, and he got 108 yards in those 2 interceptions. Yeah, one of them was 58 yards to the 2-yard line, and a 50-yarder, and he stepped out at the 3-yard line. Otherwise, he would have had 2 touchdowns. He's 5 yards short of 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I mean, that's game-changing too. I mean, but all of it says, Elway didn't do much. Elway didn't do much.
He also had an interception in that game.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
So.
Elway threw an interception and only 1 TD that game.
Yep.
And Terrell Davis got the benefit of the touchdowns because of that. You know, Rod Smith running to the 2, Terrell Davis taking it. I love that we agree. I can't believe it. I was shocked.
This shocks me.
I'm blown away.
This shocks me. Well, if that didn't shock you, this will.
We both took Elway away.
My number 2. Okay, I said in Super Bowl 46, the punter, Steve Weatherford, should have won the MVP at that Super Bowl. How about 42, 2008? Yeah. Cover your ears, folks. It should have been a defensive end that won the MVP because he dominated that game. A guy named Justin Tuck was dominant in that in that win
No.
for the Giants, instead
Hold
of hand it to Eli Manning, handed it
Hold
to
on.
him.
Hold on. I got another point because I looked at both them Super Bowls, and Justin Tuck was awesome in both of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
But I took Weatherford the first one because
Okay.
field position.
You know, as much as I'm an Eli fan, right? They won those games and had those runs, amazing runs that they had, because they were a team. They weren't the best defense in the league, but they were a strong defense. They weren't the best run team in the league, but they were a strong run team. And Eli, when it got playoff time, he didn't throw interceptions.
Didn't make
He
mistakes.
didn't make mistakes. He did some great things, but not over the top great things. And
Jeff.
he never hurt him. Never hurt
Jeff.
him.
Oh, throw it up to Tyree.
Oh hell! That is not how that went. He threw that thing right on the back of his head. Bam! His eyes were not closed.
I took both MVPs away from Eli.
Such a punk.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Such a punk. You might not come back next year.
I can't win the Giants though.
You're right. You know, I mean, Eli's not Tom Brady. I mean, he's better than his brother, Peyton.
No, he's not.
Absolutely better than his brother. He got his. At least he got his at the same place. He didn't have to bounce around the league and get a second Super Bowl.
He was forced to.
No, he wasn't because he was done.
He obviously wasn't.
Indiana was done watching him fall and fail.
They probably could have won another Super Bowl.
No, I think they're better today than they were then.
Okay, what did they replace him with? Andrew Luck, who did nothing.
Yeah, that was that bad.
Just saying.
He was supposed to do something.
Andrew Luck was probably one of the most wasted talents in football.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that doesn't change the fact that Eli was the better Manning.
No,
That's
he's
how he
not.
plays football.
Not
And
in
Arch,
any
and
universe.
Arch coming out of Texas, he ain't threatening Eli at all. Not at all. That crown is
He'll
still
be a
on
better
the
quarterback than Eli.
What?
He'll be a better quarterback than Eli.
He's not even, he might not even make the NFL. He's horrible.
Yeah, he will. He will. He'll make the NFL.
What was his name?
Yeah, that don't mean he's going to
Man.
start very long. Because when you get to the NFL, that means not for long you play like that.
I'm sorry, but there's no universe that Peyton Manning's a worse quarterback than Eli Manning. Not a chance.
In every universe. There's no universe that
None.
Peyton is better. None.
Every single universe.
No. Absolutely not.
Not only does he have the same Super Bowl wins, he was a better quarterback all the way around than Eli was.
He doesn't have the same Super Bowl wins.
Yes, he does.
Hey, Eli had to go through New England both times.
Two.
New England both times. Literally
How
had to beat the best play team ever assembled.
How many times did Peyton beat Brady to go to the Super Bowl?
Remember, we looked that up. It was two. He was 2-4 in the
No,
playoffs.
it was opposite. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Brady
4-2.
4-2.
4-2. But still, how many Super Bowls did he win after 4 times?
2.
No, he won through Brady. He didn't have to go through Brady in the Denver one.
I think it was.
Dude.
Who did Denver win against to go to the Super Bowl the last time in 50? I want to say it was the Patriots.
Where is it?
Super Bowl 50. I don't know.
Von Miller 50. Oh, it doesn't tell me.
Von Miller was the stud.
I'll look it up while Brian
Yeah,
doing
look it
the
up.
last one.
Now we got our number one travesties at MVP.
Yep, that's what we're going to.
See, Eli wasn't on the top spot, so don't worry. I took one of those MVPs away from him, but it wasn't one of the top. It wasn't the biggest travesty. Hopefully, one of you guys join me on this number one travesty of MVP.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, the biggest travesty happened in 1997, Super Bowl number 31.
7.
Popular Desmond Howard got the MVP. Did he deserve it? No. A defensive end that year was a Super Bowl MVP by far, but because he wasn't Desmond Howard, he didn't get it. A guy named Reggie White deserved the MVP of Super Bowl 31. He dominated that game, folks.
Desmond Howard dominated too.
Well,
He had 244 total all-purpose yards.
but Reggie White is the key to that defense back then. He was the king of that defense.
I got the answer, by the way.
What is it?
It was the Patriots.
Was it? Huh.
Huh. So both of them, he went through the Patriots. So
Yeah, I'm still not going with Peyton. Still not going with Peyton.
Peyton will be a Hall of Famer before Eli.
He should be. But you're right, he will be. I mean, they downed Belichick even. They didn't make him a first round Hall of Famer. I mean, what's the travesty in that? That takes away all credibility of what the Hall of Fame is doing up there.
I disagree.
How do you disagree? He's
You
literally
cheat,
one of the
you get
best
caught.
coaches of all time.
You get caught 3 times cheating.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Okay. Oh, let's be real though. What has Belichick done without Brady?
Got fired and now North Carolina dating a 24-year-old cheerleader.
What are you doing in Cleveland? What are you doing in Cleveland before he went to New England? Nothing.
I'll go next with my number one. This is probably one of the most controversial ones. I have Super Bowl 35.
35.
Ray Lewis won the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis should not have won the MVP because the only reason he won MVP is because he was the leader of the defense. He had 5 tackles in that game. That's all he did. Dwayne Starks should have won the MVP because he had an interception for a touchdown and 5 tackles. Sorry, but just because you're the leader of the defense doesn't suggest that you should have won MVP.
I guess
So-
I didn't even question that one. I didn't look at that one at all.
Because of Ray Lewis.
Because Ray Lewis is one of the best middle linebackers ever played the game.
I'm not disagreeing
I
with
said
you.
one of them.
I'm not
Like Singletary.
I'm not disagreeing with that he is one of the best linebackers to ever play the game, but in that particular game, he should not have won the MVP.
Okay. I can't even argue with you on that.
Yeah.
Mine, February 9th, 2025, Kansas City, Philadelphia. And then Hurts, 17-22, 293 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception with a quarterback rating of 119.7. Those are decent numbers. They're not great numbers. They don't jump off the page at you or anything. But now, Josh Sweet, on the other hand, 6 tackles, 2 solos, 2.5 sacks, 2 breakups, and 4 quarterback hits. Now that's the man that destroyed Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. The defense held Kansas City scoreless till 39 seconds left in the third quarter. It didn't matter what that offense did.
Yeah.
They were winning no matter what. That defense scored more points up until the fourth quarter than Kansas City did.
What?
That proves my point with my post earlier today that he's got 2 of the best quarterback ratings ever in the Super Bowl history. So, but it's okay. I can live with that.
One.
I can live with that. The one I actually thought about was Nick Foles. I wanted to take away Nick Foles and give it to Brandon Graham because without Brandon Graham, that Super Bowl goes the other way.
I looked at that one too. Too.
But, Brandon Graham's the one that sealed that game. It wasn't Nick Foles.
He did seal that game, but, they went to one with wins.
I disagree.
I
I think
know
that
you
team
do.
was going to win either
I
way.
think they were very. I think they were very fortunate of how that all unfolded.
Yeah, but you had one of the best performances by a backup quarterback ever put together.
Absolutely.
You know, what did he do after that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Now, it's the second best performance ever. The first performance of a backup quarterback is Frank Reich, coming back from what was that, 28 points down against the Chiefs, Houston Oilers.
Yeah, but that,
Frank Reich comes off the bench because Warren Moon went down,
yep. And that's made me sick of my
and Montana, the elbow was sticking out like this, looked like there was a softball underneath it as the out there trying to throw in the fourth quarter. What a great game! What a great
I'm actually surprised that me and you had two of the same games at the same time.
That shocks me.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Shocked me that we got one right.
I can't believe with all the Super Bowls we had to pick from, and we doubled up on them. I'm shocked. I don't even know what to say.
I made a separate list, Brian. The best MVP choices ever in Super Bowl history. And again, you guys are going to disagree with me, but I got the top 6 ever best MVPs. Why? Well, number 6 is Roger Staubach in Super Bowl 6. He's the quarterback set the standard for quarterback leadership. He didn't have a lot of stats, but he was a leader for that Dallas Cowboys offense. Number 5, Super Bowl 11, Fred Biletnikoff, a wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers ever. Number 4, Super Bowl number 9, Franco Harris, running back for the Steelers, domination on offense.
Yeah, but that play, we don't even know if that was real.
Well, that didn't come in the Super Bowl. It came in the.
Oh, that's right. That was the game before.
Number 3 best MVP ever came in Super Bowl 20. You'll remember him. Dominating the Bears defense. Richard Dent, the defensive end. Oh my God. I was shaking. He was so good in that. Number 2, Super Bowl 8 before our time. Larry Zonka, the fullback. The ultimate quarterback of the Dolphins. Undefeated. Because of Larry Zonka. And number 1 ever MVP in Super Bowl history was a fullback as well. Came in Super Bowl 17. Defined the identity of the Redskins, not Commanders. The Redskins. And John Riggins was the fullback. John Riggins was a monster. Nobody could stop John Riggins.
The man ran straight up and down like he had a back brace on.
Nobody could stop him.
Another one.
John Riggins, Larry Zonka, Richard Dent, Franco Harris. What do those players got in common? Oh, they're football players. They're not two-hand touch players. They were from an era of real football players. Power football.
Blood and guts.
Yeah.
Another one I would throw out there is Jerry Rice when he went for 215 yards receiving in the Super Bowl.
He was good.
On, what was it, 11 catches? 15 catches.
It was 11 or 15 or something like that, but he had
11 catches, 215 yards, and a touchdown.
That's ridiculous.
That is
ridiculous. But yeah, it's fun digging into these because, like, you know, you see the Super Bowl MVP get selected, and there's been several times that I've questioned it. You know, even in just my days of watching the Super Bowl, you know, I don't have as many Super Bowls under my belt as you guys got, but there's been controversial ones for sure.
Montana, 297 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did that in Super Bowl, what would it be, that 24? Yeah, 24.
Yeah.
There's no arguing those stats.
Yeah.
I mean, Joe Montana was, to me, the coach.
Now, one of the funnest teams I ever watched play was the Oakland Raiders back in the day. Oh. Jim Plunkett and what was Art?
Yeah, Art Shell.
Art Shell. Yeah.
On that team. They were loaded. Fred Biletnikoff.
Yeah.
Who I got on my top ever.
John Madden was the coach.
Yeah. They were a great team. And I picked, when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, I picked that as one of the biggest upsets because Pittsburgh was in their prime.
Yes.
But John Madden was coming alive with that team.
Ah.
Jim Plunkett, Fred
The
Bilenchkov.
reason why John Madden became an icon as an announcer is because of how he ran his team.
Yeah.
He was a player's coach. He ran with emotion. You know, I mean, it wasn't about the X's and O's per se. It was about, God damn it, you go beat the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
You beat him down. That's your job. You beat him down. And if you don't beat him down, you grab him by the ankle. You make sure that he falls. He was a cheater. He didn't care. It was your job to make
Who's
make
the
it
coach
stop.
this year that compares to John Madden? It's Vrabel. I mean, he is John Madden of this century right now.
You think so?
He's that.
You know,
Yes,
it pains me and I hate it. But the closest to him is Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
He's got that mentality.
Yeah, he's got that just player's mentality.
I love those coaches. I love them.
Yep.
They remind me of my high school football coach who grabbed me by the face mask, pulled me down, and I heard a player broke his arm on purpose, and this is off the record. and my coach said, next time, don't break his arm, break his fucking neck. And that's my kind of coach. You know what? I was a dirty football player. I only played football to hurt people.
I was small.
Yeah. I could have played for Sean Payton on the Saints back then. Pay me a bounty? Oh, you bet.
Hey, I've actually enjoyed this. We missed you, Derek. I wish you were here tonight for this because we would love your opinions on a few of these things. We are winding down. Does anyone want to have any last thoughts after Colorado?
I just got one. Zach, his pick for MVP is Sam Darnold.
Could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, they do tend to give the quarterback the nod for those situations.
Which is wrong. I got a punter. I'm a quarterback.
I think these were a good list. These are good arguments. We're going to have more of these as the summer goes on. We are going to move on. We're going to, after the Super Bowl, we're going to get into conference basketball championships and then the March Madness. We're going to also do the March Madness again on our webpage. Hoping we're getting a few more people to sign up this year. We're going to have some prizes again put out for that. And hey, we'll see you next week. Enjoy the Super Bowl and everything that goes with being in the sports world. And, well, what's our...
We know sports.
We know sports.
We know sports. See you next week.
See y'all next week.